Hi, Mr. Santa, here to explain meaningful line breaks in poetry. This is prose. This is poetry. Prose is ordinary writing, sentences and paragraphs. The lines break whenever you reach the right margin and then continue in a new line. Poetry is language that is heightened or made special in some way. Before modernism in the early 1900s, it generally included shorter lines, repeating rhythmic patterns, and rhyming, like these lines by Mary Howitt, The Spider and the Fly. "Will you walk into my parlor?" said the spider to the fly. "'Tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I've many a curious things to show you when we are there." That's just the first 4 lines. The poem is longer than that. But now, unrhymed free verse is the predominant form of poetry and has been since sometime in the mid-1900s. This is a fragment as well. Fork by Charles Simic. "This strange thing must have crept right out of hell. It resembles a bird's foot worn around the cannibal's neck." In free verse, lines break wherever it sounds good to the poet. And because of that, line breaks are an artistic tool that can be used by the poet in the creation of meaning. So when analyzing a poem, keep an eye out for meaningful line breaks, and when you write poetry, try using them as well. When you break a line, the mind pauses before reading the next line, even if the pause is very small. And in that pause, your mind will briefly process that line for meaning. A poet will often break the line wherever one would put punctuation, like a comma or a period, like here, because there's a natural pause there, or at the end of a phrase, like this here, because that's a natural breaking point in language too. But a lot of the time, the poet will break a line to put emphasis on the last words in the line, or occasionally the first words in the next line. Look at these opening lines from a favorite poem of mine, My Father's Back by Edward Hirsch. It's a poem about a man who remembers the moment when his father abandoned his family. Pay attention to the pauses, which are part of the language's rhythm. "There's an early memory that I carry around in my mind like an old photograph in my wallet. A little graying and faded, a picture that I don't much like, but nonetheless keep. Fingering it now and then like a sore tooth, knowing it's there, not needing to see it anymore." Okay, grammatically, this excerpt is one continuous sentence. These lines could have been written like this. "There's an early memory that I carry around in my mind like an old photograph in my wallet. A little graying and faded, a picture that I don't much like but nonetheless keep. Fingering it now and then like a sore tooth, knowing it's there, not needing to see it anymore." But instead, he broke it into lines to slow us down, make us feel the weight of his language, and to shape the rhythm of the poem. Look at this first line. He could have broken the line after early memory, because the end of a noun phrase is a natural breaking point, but he didn't. He broke the line after carry around, emphasizing the phrase carry around highlights the burdensome quality of this memory and its constant presence. The next line, in my mind, made to stand alone, separate from the phrase carry around, reminds us where this memory is stored, in the mind, in the imagination. So it encourages the reader to imagine it in our own minds, and maybe to think about the memories that they carry around. Every time I read this, I can feel his memory in my head almost like a physical sensation. He goes on to introduce the central metaphor, or simile, in his poem. Like an old photograph in my wallet. He breaks the line at the comma, which is a natural breaking point. A little graying and faded, a picture. Here he cruises right past this comma and breaks the line after a picture. That makes the word picture hang in the air and in your imagination for a moment longer. Again, we see that gray, faded photograph. Look at the next 2 lines. That I don't much like, but nonetheless keep. That first break after don't much like emphasizes that the memory isn't a pleasant one. It's a painful memory. Then look at this deep indent. Those 3 words surrounded by white space are like a camera zooming in. Even though the memory is painful, the poem's speaker keeps it. He doesn't let himself forget it. Why would you hold on to a painful memory? It must be important. Then, Another simile that breaks at the comma, a natural breaking point, fingering it now and then like a sore tooth. It's a brilliant comparison. The memory is like a sore tooth. It hurts, but you can't stop touching it. He doesn't just keep the memory, he dwells on it. He keeps coming back to it. Then, 2 more lines. He breaks the first line at the comma. It emphasizes the pointlessness of revisiting it. Stop touching it. You know it's there. You know it hurts. Wouldn't it be better to forget it? But you can't forget it. Look at the indent that surrounds that second line with white space, making it stand out. Knowing it's there. Not needing to see it anymore. It's like the sore tooth. You don't need to take it out and look at it anymore. Why? Because it's burned into your memory. It pains you. You keep remembering it. That's enough for the purpose of this video. The rest of the poem is brilliant. I can't recommend it highly enough. So in this excerpt, you see that the poet uses line breaks and white space to emphasize words and phrases, to make them hang in your imagination a second longer, to make a greater impression. That greater emphasis on key words and phrases increases the reader's focus on them, telling the reader what's important to the core meaning of the poem. He carries it around, his mind, an old photograph, a picture, a sore tooth. You don't like it, you keep it. You see it, you know it. That's the power of line breaks and white space in free verse poetry. Watch for it when you read and use it when you write. I hope this video helps you be more sensitive to the rhythm of language and helps you to use your language more effectively.